VFS Global is the world's largest visa outsourcing and technology services specialist for governments and diplomatic missions worldwide. VFS Global currently works with 65 client governments, operating a global network with more than 3,500 application centers in 143 countries, having processed over 245 million applications since its inception in 2001. The company manages non-judgmental and administrative tasks related to applications for visa, passport, and consular services for its client governments, enabling them to focus entirely on the critical assessment task. VFS Global has its headquarters in Zurich, Switzerland, and Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It's my pleasure to welcome my guest today, who is none other than Sonia Dhayagude, Head Americas, VFS Global.
Hi. Hi, Nidhi. Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me here.
Pleasure is all ours, Sonia. Coming on to the questions. One can read the process of visa applications online now and file for it. Right. What kind of an edge do customers have when they hire your services?
Well, we work with 65 client governments. It is a testimony. It's a company which has processed listening to the clients of the needs of the customers. We have evolved over the years. It's only been 21 years, yet it's the largest company in the world.
Wow.
And yes, very proud of it. And so when you hire VFS or when you give us a contract, you basically get from us integrity, compliance. We are extremely focused on compliance. That's one of the needs of all our governments.
Right.
GDPR is a very strong focus. We have very process oriented. We have excellent technology. So whether you are, and we customize our solutions. So when a client government comes to us and shares their need, we make sure we give them exactly what they want. In each country that we are, as you said, we are in 140 plus countries. When we go there, so it's not that we set up at the contract and we open a center. We will make sure we look at the needs of the people, what kind of systems are in place, what facilities are in place, and how we can evolve and reach out on the ground level. So when you give us, a government engages us, you have given us all your troubles and we take care of them.
Wow, but that's a huge network, I must say.
It is.
Tell me, how did it all begin? Like 21 years is a long time, but yet not long enough for your network, which is humongous. Tell me.
That's right. Yes. The start in 2001, I was with our CEO, who's our current CEO, Mr. Zubin Kirkaria. I think his foresight, we started off with the US in Mumbai, US consulate in Mumbai. I think it started off with the needs of really seeing where we saw long lines outside the consulates. Right. If you know, people were standing in line all night, waiting for an appointment. It was quota based and how many could get in through the day. And I think he saw that need, and we approached. We got our first contract was with the consulate of US consulate in Mumbai. Just a small contract with one city. We started off in Mumbai, expanded to West India. So we opened up centers in Pune and Ahmedabad. And from then onwards, there was no stopping. The model was perfect. It was the perfect time. Consulates were looking at moving away the crowds. They were also moving into biometrics. They were so slowly, as they developed faith and at our systems, they were able to outsource biometrics. And that was also something when we kind of expanded a lot with multiple governments. So whether it's UK or Canada, all the Schengen countries, we work with all of them. And there has been a huge, step in, their faith in us, which has brought us where we are today.
Explain the automated services that your company provides.
So automation, primarily because there is biometrics, it is what we have done, and especially with COVID, we've gone even more digital as much as possible. So what we are trying to do is, as a customer in today's day and age, we are not saying we don't necessarily want you to come to us at our centers. We have the centers across. So what we are trying to do is as much of the process that you can finish from the comfort of your home, office, wherever it's convenient, whether it's filling up the form, whether it's doing the payments, whether it's doing your photograph, etc., generating your courier airway bill, doing a pre-document check. So we do all that from digitally, and then we try and make sure that when you come to us, it's primarily for the biometrics, which needs to be done in person. We're also working, with several client governments. Wherever the biometrics is needed, you have to come. But like with the Indian government in the US, we have a really nice process where we facilitate the complete end-to-end application online. If you want assistance while doing that in terms of form filling, we have our call center agents who will do it for you. So you don't, even that is taken care of.
Wonderful.
So you fill everything, you choose the services you want, you make the payment online, you generate a courier label, and you drop it off at our at any courier that you prefer. You can use a service that we provide, and that's it. We take care of it from that point on. You don't need to do anything, and once that is done, we dispatch it back to you. So it's back to your home within whatever time that the government or the consulate
But you don't
takes.
really guarantee the visas, of course.
No, that's the part of the education. VFS does not play a role on it, and that's the beauty of the outsource.
Especially when it comes to students, like I've noticed in India, they would go and with haphazardly with all the papers, they're in order, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're not so sure of the universities they've applied to, whether it's good enough for the embassy to grant them the visa. So do you kind of guide them on that?
No, we don't pay, being the service provider, we do not play any role in guiding a customer on these things. What we do recommend, and I would strongly recommend to anyone applying, look at our websites, which are the source of truth, which will give you exactly the documents needed. We work with all our client governments to make very extensive checklists. If you follow that checklist, really, there should be no reason that you go wrong. What we, so we don't play any part in saying, okay, go to this university. That's would not be our role. So we do that.
You just make sure the papers are in order.
Yes. So we make sure what you tell us that you're applying. From that point onwards, what papers the government needs for the submission or the processing, that we make sure is accurate.
The bank statements, if the number, your account has enough funds or not, you wouldn't pinpoint on that.
No, so some governments stipulate a requirement of minimum funds.
Right.
It all depends from government to government.
Okay.
So it really comes, if a government has mandated, they'd like to see something, like sometimes European countries have a minimum insurance requirement. When you apply for a visa, they'll say you need X amount of insurance. So that is where, we'll tell you. But if you don't have, funds, normally it is not in our officers to say whether the money is good enough or not. Where some client governments will, process, even do an interview. If they have any questions, they would do an interview. VFS may facilitate the interview, but that's not the role of our officers. We want it to be, the idea is keep this as neutral as possible. We take, as I said right in the beginning, compliance for us is extremely important.
Right.
We train our agents, our officers on the process and on the documents. So that's where we like to keep it at.
Which is the hardest visa to get in US?
I wouldn't say anything is hard. Actually, there is no such thing. And in the US, travel is most of the US passport, people can travel without a visa for at least for the 90 days for many countries. Getting a visa is not hard. I think people just struggle with trying to make sure the right documentation. Right. Also, there is we need to understand there is a time that missions take to process the visas, depending on their own internal processes.
The lottery system, like
that's an immigration system by the US government. That's not something that we work with.
Got it.
So that doesn't impact the citizen here or the resident here.
What are the top countries in terms of visa popularity?
India, in terms of applying for a visa, from what I understand, is India. We have a very large operation, but countries where people like to travel, I think it's from I will talk about the governments that we serve. So it's the there's UK is very popular from here because a lot of students go from here.
Right.
So what we see are people who need a visa. So normally it's students. Canada is a popular destination. Again, students, business, tourism. Tourism is, of course, as you know, post-pandemic has come back with a bang. People want to get out, they want to travel, they want to experience the world. Schengen is a very popular destination.
But it's hard to get, once I had just my Indian passport, you have to get into the system and the dates, and they would keep on postponing or something or the other. You'll get 2 months in advance. I wanted to travel to Germany.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
Yes, yes. So yes, the Schengen, they will go by the Schengen code. They have a certain requirement on how much in advance you can apply, also how the duration of the visa. So as I said, each client government has its own requirements and its own regulations.
But you have good relationships with all of them.
Yes, yes, and that is yes. So as I said, our role is again limited to accepting the documents, processing and submitting it to them. I think our clients the governments that we work with really look at us to be able to give them accurate documentation.
What about the dates? If somebody goes through you and they want to get into the system, but there are no dates available, would they be able to get those?
So for all our all the applicants, I would say, if there is an issue with appointments, so normally we open appointments for all our missions. They're easily available. Sometimes we work with the numbers that the government would give us or the consulates would give us. Sometimes not. If you feel there's an urgency and you're not able to, please call our help desk. They're able to contact our managers. They're able to contact the management and make sure. If it's an emergency, we will facilitate it. Even
That's
for
wonderful. Trust me, after this answer, a lot of calls are going to come to you now.
No, so we have ample appointment availability. So whether you're applying for India, that's easy. You don't have to. If you would like to, our centers are open. Appointments are available even for tomorrow. So you come there, people will take care of you. If you want to do it from home, as I said, the postal system is there. So don't worry about it. We are here to make things easy for you and to be the perfect bridge between the government and our applicants. So we want to make sure you find it easy. Because if you find it easy and you're able to travel, it's people have so many reasons to travel.
Right.
So we want to facilitate that.
Thank you. Do you help in obtaining OCI or surrendering Indian passports when a person becomes a US citizen?
That's right, yes. We
You
do.
do that.
We offer the service called renunciation. In fact, if you want to apply for an OCI, you need to renounce your Indian passport. Same thing if you're applying for a visa, you need to apply for renunciation. So the process is the same. You can apply through our website or at our centers. It's fairly simple, and I would recommend if you obtained another US passport, please go ahead and have that in place, because if you need to get a visa tomorrow, that document is required, and it doesn't take too long. So you should go for it.
Visa services companies can help you identify and apply for the correct visa. Can a person who has the wrong visa or would like to change their visa also approach you? How difficult and time consuming is the process?
So a visa application, when you apply for a visa, it's basically up to you to tell us what you are applying for. That is where I come to say some of our client governments certainly have this strict policy of us telling a person what to apply, which is rightfully so, because sometimes in between categories is a very thin line.
Right.
So we don't tell you what category to apply, but if you say, example, I'm applying for tourism, yes, based on your duration of stay, we can say, okay, you qualify for this. So we'll tell you what you qualify for. Okay, and then yes, to your question, you applied for a wrong visa and you want to correct it. It's a reapplication. Okay. So you have to apply again, but sure, there is nothing to stop you. If you qualify for the correct category, we can help you in terms of processing. As I said, please come to our centers. Please approach us. Our role is to make things easy for you. So we're happy to do that.
It's been an unprecedented few years. How are things picking up for travel now?
Oh, I must say, COVID, the stop during COVID did bring a halt to everybody's travel plans. But post that, we are seeing a huge resurgence. All the travel trends that you see, which are published trends, really show you how much people want to travel, be it for students, be it for just family reunions, holidays. there's a lot of pent-up demand too, because people were not able to, get their visas have expired in some cases.
But the prices are so high now, and the pilots and the crew, they are not turning up, the flights getting cancelled.
Exactly. I know it's not easy. It's like the entire industry, whether it's the airline, whether it's hotels, hospitality, all front office, every business is kind of re-emerging from COVID, facing a difficulty. I think we went through it too.
Yeah.
We've tried to stand strong. We've gone, the same issues that everybody faces. But we are there. And again, I can't speak about, I do hear about the airline industry and the issues for sure. But people, if you want to travel, the demand is there. There are a lot of people traveling. In fact, people are now booking so many months in advance versus last minute before earlier, because they knew it was quick, it was fast. It's probably taking a little longer because what we face, everybody faces. But it's available, so do plan in advance. It really helps.
It does.
And I'm sure the rising prices and the airline crunches will go away at some stage.
Fingers crossed.
Likewise. Yeah. I think we are all impacted personally with it too.
Revenge tourism seems to be the newly coined term that is being used to define the amount of travel expected and seen. Are there any numbers that you can talk about for travel now in comparison to the pre-pandemic times?
Well, revenge tourism, yes, I see a huge demand for tourism, yes. We can call it revenge tourism, but yes, people are excited to travel. The travel trends, the travel data that is published really shows that people are going back more for tourism, students, family reunions. So there is a huge demand there. As I just explained, people want to go and be prepared for it. They don't want to be caught off because there were people caught who thought maybe you could do it at the last minute. It's not so. Numbers are, volumes are picking up, which is where companies like us come in so that we can facilitate. The consulates, the governments are also gearing up to be able to meet that demand because of the closures, the people were stuck, but that is back. So it's back. We can call it revenge, but yes, but people want to be out of their homes, and I think you agree. We all need to get out and get back. So that is there. I think business is coming back a lot. People now again back to not large conferences as much as that we see, but a lot of tourism, a lot of students.
What are the new things that you introduce to make processes simpler and easier?
Many things that we would say. We constantly keep our ear to the ground and listen to what the people want, what our applicants want. And that's how we've evolved our processes. Be it making it digital during the pandemic. So we never closed. We were closed only for 2 months, and since then our offices have been open. So we've tried to make it digital because we understood that our applicants could not come to our offices where it was possible. We tried to facilitate cross movement. We set up these services which originally were never offered digitally, like form filling assistance. We've worked with many client governments. For some of the others, we've offered something called a digital document check. Wherein one of our agents across a video call, you can even have your documents checked, so you're sure of what you're submitting.
Nice.
We've started facilitating additional services at our centers, like with premium lounge. We try to accommodate people who are during office hours. We understand you need to go, so we open offices early through certain prime time services. Besides that, the basics, our offices are a one-stop shop. You don't, if you need a visa, whether it's a photograph, whether it's photocopies, whether it's a kiosk, whether it's insurance, you can make sure the facilities are available so that you don't have to really going shopping to multiple places.
So you can just go for one thing. You don't have to kind of take the whole premium package or something.
No, everything is optional. It really depends on what your needs are. Even if you don't even, as I said, for so many, especially India, you don't even need to come to us, which is in fact, it's a wonderful process. It's one of the, I think the full end-to-end process is done from home. So besides that, we are also taking several initiatives and coming to you. We do consular camps for the Indian diaspora, which are very popular. We do for some of our other governments. We do visa at your doorstep, where we take the biometric kits and go to your house.
Wow.
And that's a very popular service for many of the client governments.
That's as easy as it can get.
Yes,
exactly.
So that is why. And as I said, as we hear what you need, we evolved over the years, and we've got a huge bouquet of services. We just have to tell us what you need.
It's like an Uber service.
It's like right.
For travel. Okay, so talk about the overall response to your counselor camps. What are the areas that have been covered so far, and what places do you intend to conduct more in the future?
Yes. So consular camps, this is a huge initiative. We work very closely with the embassy and the consulates and several federations. To be able to organize or facilitate the camps. These are held, we've almost done almost 16 camps so far in the year across the country. Starting off from whether it's Ohio, whether it's we've done somewhere in Seattle, we've done San Francisco, we've done several for the New York consulate in the jurisdiction, which is Philadelphia, for DC. So we try to cover the wherever people can't come to us, and it's an excellent initiative. So a team of trained officers will go along with the consulate to these camps. The number of people in that one day that we're able to serve is huge. So we've done camps where almost 300 to 400 people have also come. So the federations, thanks to them, they facilitate it for us. They make the arrangements. And between the consulates and us, we accept these applications and covering all services. It's not just visas. We accept applications for passport, OCI, renunciation, GEP, police clearance certificates, visas. So anything that you want that we offer, we are authorized to offer by the government of India. We accept it there. So our agents are there. We can even accept payments. So it's an extremely good initiative, very positive response. We have many more coming up this year. And
how about in India, when you think of it, belts like Punjab, people, they want to go to Canada and US very badly. So do you have such camps there?
So US, it all depends on the government and what they authorize. Here, as I said, the Embassy of India and the consulates authorize us to do the camps. In the case of India, where the Canadian government or the US government, it would really depend on their authorization, which is right now I think is restricted to our centers.
I see.
Yeah.
In which cities have you already conducted these camps, and what have the responses been like so far?
So as I said, we worked for the jurisdiction of San Francisco, Chicago, the majority of them, DC and New York. Responses have been very, very positive. People really like it sometimes. So we started off during the COVID. Even then we were doing camps in spite of the restrictions. We tried to have social distancing. We had our staff wearing masks and sanitizers. So we went through all that. Whatever said and done, we have always maintained a very strong COVID protocol. We want you to be safe. We want our team to be safe.
Of course.
So with that, we've facilitated a lot of these people have come there. They've been extremely thankful. We do it in several temples. We do it in gurdwaras.
Wow.
And as I said, it's the thanks to the federation, thanks to the diaspora who arranges this for us. And we go there. So it's something close to your home, and always on a Saturday. So it's on a weekend. So you're not that you're spending your working day, there, coming to us. So responses.
When do you have one of those camps in New Jersey next?
New Jersey, the date is not, I don't have a date. I can send you the schedule as in when. So we go by the request of the community and by the consulate.
Trust me, you will get a lot of requests from New Jersey.
I'm sure. But we are happy to do it. But we do, it basically would be routed through the consulate. So if they authorize us to say this is the next camp, we facilitate it, we open the appointments on our website. And then our team goes there and processes it.
Wonderful. Yeah. With the various variants of the virus now popping up, there remains a lot of ambiguity on the near-term future of travel. Do you foresee any concerns?
COVID by itself was something which is unplanned for. It has been a huge learning curve for us as a company because it was one of the industries that was the most impacted. We think we are over the worst. We never know. I mean, but we don't know what the future holds for us. But from our side, even during this, coming through the COVID and the peak of COVID, the fact that we still have all our centers intact, all our clients intact, really shows testimony to how well it was managed. We had very strict protocols. I would say our centers did have to close down because nobody was safe from COVID. But even if staff got impacted, unfortunately, we would close down. We had a deep cleaning, sanitization. In some countries, they were wearing, whether it was needed hazmats, whatever was needed, we did. So in the beginning with the unknown, we were quarantining the dockets. We did that, but now we still maintain the COVID protocol in our offices. We still prefer it, and we request our applicants to wear a mask even today. Our staff still wears a mask, and hopefully we don't get to see it, but I feel we are in a much stronger place because having learned from this, and the digital journey that we've taken on will keep us going even if this comes back again.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to us and letting our viewers know the advantages of submitting their visa applications and other documents through VFS Global. Thank you, Sonia, for talking to us.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure was all ours, trust me. Thank you.